Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I open up the news, and who do I see but Russell Brand, accused of many illicit things. Good morning, Liz Cross. How are you today?
Good morning. Can you tell us about your remote viewing class that you have starting up soon, please, before we
Sure, it's next month. It starts October 3rd. It's going to be 5 weeks, and if you're interested, it's going to be 22 hours of me teaching you remote viewing. It's live, plus it'll be on YouTube for download. And if you're interested, you can email remoteviewit@gmail.com. We'll set up a 15-minute chat, and I can see if the course is going to work for you. But I'm excited about it. And I promise that in November, I'll be launching a course which the time is more accessible for people in the UK. This one won't. It'll be 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Next month, it'll be better.
Central Time.
Central Standard or Central Daylight Time. I never know anymore.
Well done, Ronan, on all your courses. And I can attest that they are fabulous. And
thank you.
Those of you that are not getting all the videos, that's because you're not a member of Patreon, patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. Okay, Russell Brand. Ronan, what do you know about him?
Every time he says something, it seems like he's not saying what he's saying to me. Like there's a meta message in what he's dispensing. So I don't trust him much.
Wow. Well, I have a story before we go in and I probe him. I actually met him once. Can you
When
believe
was that?
It was, oh my God, it was years ago. This is when he was just starting to get famous. I was at the Half Moon pub in Putney in London. And one of my friends was she still is, a singer-songwriter, and she was playing a gig there. So me and another friend went to see her to give her some support, because she doesn't play London that much. She normally plays up and down the country. Anyway, so there was like an open mic night, songwriter night, and this guy, extremely skinny and skinny jeans, was standing behind us. There was no more seating room. He was directly behind me. We're sitting at the table and he is just talking so loud, right? And my friend turned around to him and said, "Do you mind? We're trying to listen to some of these songs." I mean, he was just so loud. He was obviously drunk. Then at the end of every song, he starts, woo, yeah, screaming and shouting for everybody, just this really loud, raucous roar, clapping. And so my friend, in my friend's ear. And so my friend turned around and said, "Who the bloody hell are you, Rentamate?" Because you seem to be everyone's best friend that appears on stage. And then a little, verbal ensued, but he was really drunk. Needless to say, when my friend finished her gig, she came and sat down at the table with us, and he chatted her up in UK speak. And he was like trying to sleep with her, right? And he's like, "Don't worry, love. I've slept with thousands of women." And my other friend's going, "Is that supposed to be your selling point?" Like, it was just so ridiculous. I mean, because he was just so drunk and just off his head. Anyway, so I've actually met Russell Brand. That was the only time. And in the end, we were all laughing and joking and everything. And he did take my friend's phone number. And as far as I know, they did go out on a couple of dates, and but it was all to bed her, and she wasn't that fast in the sack. So to jump into the sack, so that was it. That was the end of it. He moved on to many, many more. So as we know, he has come out. He says he's a sex addict. With that, we know. So
you knew that
rape
at the bar.
Right. I knew that years ago. All you had to do was ask Liz years ago, because it was only a couple of months after I met him that he started appearing on UK TV. And I said to my husband, "Oh my God, that's that bloke from the Half Moon Pub in Putney." Right. And he was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." So, yeah. What would you like to know about Russell? I have him here.
Well, there are some allegations, and if you have sexual relations with thousands of women, are the allegations of sexual assault true, or is it just you not knowing what no is?
That's a good question. So let's go in and say, what are you panicked over the allegations? Yes, absolutely. He's terrified of these allegations. This is the end of his career. I feel like he's very reckless. The first thing that I get when I attach myself to his energy, extremely reckless, reckless with spending, very addictive personality. I feel like now he has other addictions going on. Are you still doing drugs? No, I don't feel like he's doing drugs. Are you drinking? No, he's not drinking. But I still, what about the sex addiction? Is that still going on? I still feel like part of that is still going on, actually. That's something that he can never get rid of. And he just said to me, "I love it. I love that about myself." But anybody who thinks that sex addiction is fantastic, fun, and great, think again. It really isn't. Okay, so you have been accused of rape. That's correct. And did you rape those women? No. He's saying no. But as I have probed many serial killers, rapists, convicts, and all that before, oftentimes in their minds, right, what they did no wrong. So you have to then start asking the questions in such a way to see what their perception of the event was, because they usually justify their actions. They're not like normal people that say, "Oh my God, I raped somebody. I'm a terrible person. I'm this, I'm that." They don't think that, right? They justify their actions. A lot of times they'll say, "Well, she wanted it or he wanted it, whatever, but she wanted it. They deserved it. They wanted me. They were enticing me in." Okay, so those are the types of answers you normally get from somebody who's committed rape. Did you sexually abuse anyone? Okay, so here you go. Same sort of scenario. No, I did not sexually abuse anyone. They deserved it, is the answer I got.
Let's ask Katy Perry if she thinks that these rumors or allegations are true about him, which is almost hearsay, but I'd like her opinion. And I mean, Katy Perry, why not?
Okay, I like her on what's that show my kids watch? I can't remember, but anyway, they what is it? The Pop Idol, or that's what it's called in the UK. Anyway, American Idol. That's it. American Idol over here, Pop Idol in the UK. Katy Perry. What's going on with your ex-husband, former husband, Russell Brand? He's been accused of all sorts. Do you believe it? Absolutely, 100%. It's probably absolutely true.
Well,
Did
the
you?
hearsay probably could be wrong, but we don't want to. It's if she knows him better than anyone else, probably.
Um, yes, I think that as far as like marriage is concerned, could you trust him? No, not at all. He was always online. He was always looking up other women. He was always chatting up people. And he didn't see, this is her biggest line. He did not see anything wrong with his behavior, right? And she would try to tell him how uncomfortable it would make her feel, that he was too flirtatious, uh, that he was constantly looking at other women, and he didn't see anything wrong with that in the marriage at all.
You're
He,
married to Katy Perry, man. I mean, come on.
I know she's so pretty. Uh, And he didn't see anything wrong with it. Did you feel like that you ended up in that relationship because you had low self-esteem? Yes. So she had extremely low self-esteem, and he was exciting, he was charismatic, he was intelligent, still is, she says, but he's a chronic cheater. Do you believe he touched women inappropriately? Absolutely. Yes. It doesn't surprise her one bit, especially if he was drinking.
Is there a path forward for him that let's move ahead next year or maybe even 15 months out? What is the result of these allegations? Is he taken off YouTube? Is he dropped from different brands? Is he conspiracy theories around him not spitting out his conspiracy theories anymore?
You know, I've never watched his show. Never. Um, I can't even remember what he was on in the UK. And I know that he then he found his niche and very political, like political activism. That's what got him the most attention. And I think that's why he ran with it from that point on with the political stuff, because before he was trying to be a comedian. And to be honest, I didn't find him that funny. I mean, I didn't find him funny at the pub, the Half Moon. And I don't find him funny now. But of course, you know, he was craving this attention, which doesn't surprise me of a sex addict. That's what they're doing. They're craving to fill this void. They need to be admired and adored at all times. And once they've received that hit of dopamine, you know, then they're on to the next one. You're no longer exciting for them. So now they have to keep searching for something else. But just know they never fill the void until they realize that they are sex addicts and they actually start to seek help for that addiction. Did you groom someone at the age of 16?
What brought that sexual addiction on?
What brought that sexual addiction on? He did not feel loved by his mother. That's a common problem for sex addicts. Okay. As you know, Ronan, we do the CTT every Monday morning. Okay. And then I do lots of CTT sessions. I've done a lot of sessions. Some reason sex addicts always seem to find me, or wives of sex addicts. And I find that the common pattern is always between the sex addict and their mother. There's no bonding there. There's no love there. They felt unloved. There's a big void. They actually have a lot of self-hatred. So they go through life trying to find that lost love that they should have had by bonding with a parent, bonding with their mother, and they can never fill the void. And it actually becomes out of control. He has hit rock bottom several times, and this is just another point of hitting rock bottom. So let me move him out further. Let's go out a couple of years, see what happens. So we'll go September 17th, 2025, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, the first thing that came through is he's extremely depressed and he's suicidal.
He should seek therapy.
He does. This is okay. This is another problem. A lot of times when people are seeking therapy, right, they're going for talk therapy, excuse me, because that's what they know. I've had people come to the CTT that have done talk therapy for 20 years and it hasn't fixed the problem, right? So he is seeking therapy. He is on antidepressants. His career is your career still going? No, his career is over. It's finished because lots more people. This is just the start of it. What we woken up to this morning, there's going to be hundreds of women that come out saying
Yeah,
he's
the UK
sexually
police urge women to speak after allegations of Russell Brand. I wonder if they're going to need more police force to answer all these rape
probably.
allegations that come through.
You know what was so interesting as well when he was trying to chat up my friends? He was very open about his sexuality. Like he was very open about why he wanted to see her. He did it was never the thing like I want to date you because I think that you are probably a nice person. She's a very good singer, a very talented person. She's extremely sweet and it was never like that. I think you're fascinating. I want to get to know you more. It wasn't like that at all. He point blank sat at our table. He offered to buy us all a drink, and by the we turned him down. We said no, thank you, only because he'd had so much to drink already. We didn't think that he should have another one himself, or we would have taken him up on the offer. Um, but he was very open about it. He was like, I just want to have sex with you. And my friend is just very meek and mild. It was like, well, I think you're handsome. And, but if you want to go out maybe because he was like, let's meet up, let's meet up. But he was explaining to her, we're only meeting up for sex and nothing else, right? She did manage to get, I think, a meal out of him. So I don't know. But that's very typical behavior of an addict, right? And it could be that these allegations were when he was so steeped in that addiction. They could be very old allegations, which I'm getting that a lot of them are. They're going back like 20 years and possibly even more. But women are going to come out of the woodwork about what a horrible person he was to them. Wow.
Well, that is unfortunate for the Russell Brand followers, of which I am not. I imagine he'll be dropped. Let's say, did he actually molest the 16-year-old that he's been accused of molesting?
So, okay, molesting a 16-year-old. I'm going to have to watch that Channel 4 documentary. I'm sure it'll be available somewhere on the internet. In the UK, the laws are different. Okay, so whereas we do not deem people as adults until they're 18 in the USA, at 16, you're pretty much an adult, or at least it used to be that way when I lived there. People would call the police on missing 16-year-olds, my son or my daughter's refusing to come home. And you're like, well, they're, back then, they're 16, they can do what they want. So there's a different sort of legal assumption around being 16 in Europe or certain places in the world and being 16 in the USA. 16 in the USA, we can still enforce parental laws in the home. It's very difficult over there. They're basically an adult. They leave school at 16 and they can leave school to go work, or they can go to college. They can go to trade school. It's very different over there. So was sex with the 16-year-old girl that you've been accused of consensual? See, I'm trying to ask an unwell person whether it was consensual, and she wanted me to do it. So again, he still has that sort of sex addict mentality, and it's not good. So we're not going to get clear-cut answers from him about how we see it on the other end.
All right. Well, good luck and good riddance, Russell Brand.
He is one crazy guy. I'll never forget that. And when I called my friend up, because my friend that was with me to see our other friend on stage, my friend is a really good short story writer, film screenwriter in the UK. I mean, she always enters like all the BBC competitions. She usually gets second place, unfortunately, and radio dramas, and so she's very talented. And when I called her up and I said, "Look who's on the TV, it's the guy from the Half Moon," she was like, "I can't believe he can get a gig and I can't." Oh God, it was just so funny. Anyway, okay, we'll stop this one here.